Welcome to Watches of Joe's. I'm Joe. Thank you for dropping by the channel. Today I'm going to banter about the Decima Gatekeeper. This watch is on loan from Decima, so thank you for lending it into the channel. It will be going back out pretty shortly after I finish editing this review. That being said, let's get into the watch itself, and let's start with specifications. The Decima Gatekeeper comes in at $599 US. It has a diameter of 38 millimeters. This is an integrated sports watch, so we're going to get an effective lug-to-lug of what I'm going to call 46 millimeters from here to here. The thickness is going to come in at about 11.3 millimeters with the crystal included. The spec on the website calls it 9.9. I'm assuming that's not counting the crystal. We are then going to get a crown here that is going to be 6.3 millimeters. Our case back is going to be an exhibition case back. Show that off real quick in here. There we go. We're going to get a water resistance of 5 atmospheres. That's 50 meters. Pretty standard with a push-pull crown. And we are going to have our guilloche pannier. Ooh, that is probably horribly mispronounced and sounds way more like delicious Indian food than what it's probably called. Dial. This is, from what I can tell, a machine dial. It's a pretty pattern. We'll get into that more later. The indices and the handset are going to be loomed with a Swiss Super Luminova BGW9. And on the my 7-inch wrist, the weight comes in at 135 grams. That being said, let's move to this being on my actual wrist. So I've had the chance to wear this out and about. It's been pretty awesome in different situations. This is the first time that I'm actually wearing an integrated bracelet, and it's taught me a lot about them that I just didn't understand from having just looked at them on the internet. The shape of this case really makes me feel like it wears really comfortably. This little downturn here in the integrated lug is really helpful in helping the watch go down. We've got these fixed end links that keep the shape extending instead of being able to drape down for a smaller wrist. So the smaller you get, like let's say a 6-inch wrist, you might have an issue with this size of watch. From here, it's got this beautiful mixture of brushing and polishing. And for me, this really stands out around the bezel. There we go. You can really see this polish section that separates the brush section. And you get the brushing around the crystal itself. And then the polishing on these outer flanks just really gives a lot of fun light play to the dial. As then we go right back into brushing down here. Thanks for bearing in with that super zoom in. We'll go just out a little bit more. Keep looking at this guilloche dial that is just strikingly beautiful. The pattern gets smaller and smaller as it goes to the center. And the light play just works really well. When I asked for a watch to borrow, I just said, give me one that's going to really show off what's well. And the brand owner was like, I'm going to send you the white one because I think it is our better dial for photography. And I think he was absolutely right. I've been able to see a lot of things with this dial that I don't know that I would have seen inside of the other colors. We've also got here, we've got these sort of Daphne style hands with a lot of loom on side of them. We've got our applied indices, which are multifaceted with a lot of loom blocks. We've got this very nice, simple chaptering that's going around that's going to tell us where our minutes are. And then we've got bolder markings for where every 5 minutes is at. Also, we're going to have double indices at the 12, which is just going to make it nice and easy to see where 12 o'clock is on the dial. And all of this is being powered by the Miyota 9039 movement. And so let's switch over to this open case back here. Zoom back in. Yeah, and so here we can see just a standard Miyota 9039 With its case back, we're going to get information around the outer ring that's going to tell us that it's the Miyota 9039, that it's the Decima Gatekeeper, that it's stainless steel 316L, that we have a sapphire crystal, and then we're going to get 50 meters of water resistance, about 164 feet. And then we have a Miyota 9039 that's going to have Decima on the rotor. For me, these sort of case backs are nice because they let you see the movement, but at the same time, I also, on this simpler sort of an open movement, I don't mind seeing just a closed case back. But, you know, that's a personal preference, and it doesn't matter one way or another because it has no real effect for how this watch is wearing on my wrist or just how well designed it is overall. So I've been bantering for a bit now. I've talked a bit about the dial. I've talked a bit about this bezel that I really like. It's super easy to operate the movement with the push-pull crown. Pull it out, stop the time with the hacking, push it back in, time goes back, pull it out, set the time, going backwards, which is never what I want to do, so let's go forward instead. Really well integrated with the Miyota 9039 movement, so that's really nice. All in all, when I take a look at this, it's a pretty awesome watch, and I haven't even gotten down to our very standard clasp here with our twin pushers to open it up. It's nice and milled. You can see some plastic still on there. We are going to have micro adjust here. It's your standard push the button in to pull it out, and then you can ratchet it in for the level you want. You've got 4 levels of adjustment. I'm finding about the 3rd level has been where my wrist has been settling at for the moment. And then the bracelet here, the last thing that I'm going to talk about before I wrap up my banter. It's a beautiful bracelet. I love this H-Link system. They use pins. It was super easy to use the tool that was sent with it, plus a hammer to put a pin back in when I needed to. I'd say probably the thing about this that I always forget is just the arrow shows you where you are pushing out from, and then so I would push out this way, but always remember when you go to hammer back in, you're doing the opposite thing. That's the thing that I always forget when I come back to the system. So hopefully that helps somebody else who's running into any sort of issues there. Okay, so I've had some coherent rambling, I've had some incoherent rambling in this banter, but I think this feels way more like a conversation that I would have with a friend when I'm talking about this, which is the style that I want to get to for this channel. So if you like that, please let me know below in the comments. Thank you for listening to this long. If you have a chance to try out a Decima Gatekeeper, I would highly recommend it. At $599, you're getting a very solid watch. The movement is very reliable. You're going to get that nice 4 Hz sweep. It's going to be a no date, so you don't have to worry about knowing what day it is, which is a preference for a lot of watch enthusiasts. The brushing on this bezel, the brushing on the bracelet, just really let the light play well across. I think the overall case shape is beautiful. Again, I really love the mixture of the polished and the brushing around the bezel. I think it creates a very interesting shape that you don't see on every watch on the market. And if you are someone who would prefer straps instead of a bracelet, the brand does sell an adapter to let you switch over to a strap system. All in all, I highly recommend checking out this watch. I've seen, as we were at the end of the year, and currently there is a sale on some of the models for $100 off, so keep checking back to see when they have sales if this is something you're interested in. And if you have any feedback, comments, or questions, please hit me up below in the comments. Thank you very much. This has been Joe, and have a great day.